Every Le Mans winner explained, 1970 to 1999, the Revolution era. Porsche 917K. Picture this. You're a Porsche engineer in 1969, and your boss tells you to build a car that can beat Ford's GT40. Not just beat it, humiliate it. The result was the 917K, powered by a 4.5-liter flat 12 engine that produced 580 horsepower, or over 630 in qualifying trim. The K stood for Kurzheck, short tail in German. The original long-tail version had been a nightmare to drive, with drivers describing it as trying to control a missile with a steering wheel. Porsche's solution was revolutionary. Chop off the tail, add a massive wing, and create the first truly aerodynamically sophisticated race car. Here's what made it special. The 917K was the first Le Mans winner designed using computer analysis. Porsche used early CAD systems and wind tunnel data, space-age technology in 1970. The flat 12 engine was built like a Swiss watch, running at 8,000 RPM for 24 hours without missing a beat. The 1970 and 1971 victories didn't just end Ford's dominance. They established Porsche as the new kings of endurance racing. Matra Simca MS670. After 2 years of German dominance, France struck back with the MS670, a car that looked like a spaceship, and introduced technology that was decades ahead of its time. The MS670 was powered by a 3-liter V12 that produced 440 horsepower, significantly less than the Porsche. But Matra's engineers understood something crucial. At Le Mans, efficiency matters more than peak power. The Matra V12 could run for hours while using 20% less fuel than the competition. The real innovation was the chassis. The MS670 featured a carbon fiber monocoque, the first Le Mans winner to use this space-age material. The result was a car that weighed just 1,650 pounds, 400 pounds less than the Porsche. Here's a mind-blowing detail. The MS670's aerodynamics were so advanced that it generated more downforce at 200 miles per hour than it weighed. Theoretically, it could drive upside down at top speed. The 3 consecutive victories proved that advanced materials and sophisticated engineering could overcome brute force. Every modern race car uses carbon fiber because of lessons learned with the MS670. Gulf Ford Mirage GR8. Ford's return with the Gulf-sponsored GR8 was supposed to be triumphant. Instead, it became a lesson in how quickly racing technology evolves. The GR8 was essentially an updated GT40 with a 5-liter V8 producing 480 horsepower. But by 1975, the racing world had moved on. The GR8 won not because it was the fastest, but because it was most reliable. Porsche's new 936 was faster, but the Ford just kept running when everything else broke down. The victory was bittersweet. Everyone knew it represented the end of an era. The big displacement, naturally aspirated engines were about to be replaced by smaller, turbocharged units that would change racing forever. Porsche 936. The Porsche 936 didn't just win Le Mans. It invented the future of automotive performance. This was the first Le Mans winner powered by a turbocharged engine, and it changed everything. The 936 was powered by a 2.1-liter flat 6, with a single turbocharger producing 520 horsepower. But here's what made it revolutionary. The engine was based on the Porsche 911 turbo road car. For the first time, racing technology was directly transferring to production vehicles. Turbocharging in 1976 was like taming a wild animal. The 936 suffered from massive turbo lag. Drivers described it as driving 2 different cars. Porsche's solution was typically German. They engineered their way around the problem with advanced wastegate systems and sophisticated fuel injection. The 1976 and 1977 victories established turbocharging as the future of motorsport. When the 936 returned in 1981, it featured ground effect aerodynamics and proved Porsche's fundamental approach was sound. Renault Alpine A442B. Renault's victory with the A442B proved the French could play the turbo game just as well as the Germans. The A442B was powered by a 2.0-liter V6 with twin turbochargers producing 500 horsepower. What made it special was its integration of turbocharging with advanced aerodynamics. The car featured ground effect tunnels that created massive downforce without increasing drag. Combined with the efficient turbocharged engine, this made the Alpine incredibly fast while maintaining excellent fuel economy. The victory demonstrated that turbocharging was indeed the future of motorsport. Porsche 935 K3. The 935 K3's victory was one of the most unlikely in Le Mans history. This car wasn't designed for endurance racing. It was a sprint car that somehow survived 24 hours. Based on the Porsche 911, but sharing virtually nothing except the silhouette, the 935 K3 featured a massive 3.2-liter flat six with a single turbocharger, producing 550 to 650 horsepower. The car could achieve over 220 miles per hour on the Mulsanne Straight. Porsche's strategy was brilliant. Build the car so fast it could afford extra pit stops for fuel. While competitors optimized for efficiency, Porsche optimized for pure speed. The victory proved there was still room for overwhelming the competition with superior performance. Rondeau M379B. The Rondeau M379B's victory remains one of the greatest upsets in motorsport history. This small French constructor defeated factory teams from Porsche, Renault, and Lancia. With a car built in a tiny workshop, the M379B was powered by a 3-liter Ford Cosworth DFV V8, producing 415 to 440 horsepower, the same legendary engine that dominated Formula One. While this was still less powerful than some factory cars, what it lacked in ultimate power, it made up for in reliability and efficiency. The car's secret weapon was simplicity. While factory teams experimented with exotic materials and complex systems, Rondeau used proven technology and careful engineering. The result was a machine that could run for 24 hours without major problems. The victory proved that at Le Mans, David could still beat Goliath, if David was smart and determined enough. Porsche 956/962. The Porsche 956's debut in 1982 marked the beginning of the most dominant era in Le Mans history. This wasn't just a race car, it was a technological tour de force that redefined motorsport. The 956 was powered by a 2.6-liter flat six with twin turbochargers producing 620 horsepower. But the real innovation was full ground effect aerodynamics that created massive downforce while maintaining low drag. Ground effects worked by creating a low-pressure area under the car, literally sucking it down onto the track. The 956 generated so much downforce it could theoretically drive on the ceiling at speeds over 160 miles per hour. But ground effects had a dark side. If airflow was disrupted, downforce would suddenly disappear. Drivers described it as falling off a cliff, as the car would instantly lose grip. The 956's dominance was absolute. From 1982 to 1985, Porsche won every single World Endurance Championship race. The car didn't just beat the competition, it made them irrelevant. The evolution to the 962 in 1985 brought even more advanced technology. When the 962 returned for a final victory in 1994, it was competing against technically superior cars, but Porsche's engineering excellence delivered one last triumph. Jaguar XJR Neo. Jaguar's return to Le Mans glory with the XJR9 was one of the most emotional victories in racing history. This wasn't just about winning. It was about proving British engineering could still compete. The XJR9 was powered by a 7-liter V12 producing 750 horsepower. Unlike the turbocharged competition, Jaguar stuck with natural aspiration, believing reliability was more important than peak power. The V12 was a masterpiece of traditional engineering, featuring advanced metallurgy and sophisticated fuel injection. The result was an engine that could run at maximum RPM for hours without failure. The victory proved that traditional engineering excellence could still prevail against more complex turbocharged cars. Mercedes-Benz Sauber C9. Mercedes-Benz's return wasn't just a comeback. It was a statement that German engineering had reached a new level of sophistication. The C9 was powered by a 5-liter twin turbocharged V8, producing 720 horsepower. What made the C9 revolutionary was its approach to efficiency. Mercedes built the most intelligent car, not just the most powerful. The C9 featured advanced engine management systems that could adjust power delivery, fuel mixture, and boost pressure in real time. The C9 was also the first Le Mans winner to use advanced composite materials throughout the chassis, with a monocoque made from carbon fiber and Kevlar. The victory came through superior strategy and reliability, rather than outright speed. The C9 introduced telemetry systems that allowed real-time performance monitoring. Revolutionary in 1989, Jaguar XJR12. Jaguar's final victory with the XJR12 marked the end of an era. This was the last time a naturally aspirated engine would win Le Mans for over 2 decades. The XJR12 was an evolution of the XJR9 with a 7-liter V12 producing 750 horsepower. One of the most powerful naturally aspirated engines in racing history. The car achieved perfect balance, fast enough to compete with turbocharged cars, but reliable enough to survive 24 hours. The victory came against strong competition from Mercedes, Porsche, and Nissan's revolutionary R90CK with 4-wheel drive technology. But the XJR12's triumph proved traditional engineering excellence could still prevail. Mazda 787B. The Mazda 787B's victory remains the most unlikely triumph in Le Mans history. This wasn't just about a Japanese manufacturer beating European competition. It was about proving unconventional engineering could succeed. The 787B was powered by a 2.6-liter 4-rotor Wankel engine producing 700 horsepower. The rotary engine used triangular rotors spinning inside oval chambers, a completely different approach to internal combustion. What made it perfect for Le Mans was power-to-weight ratio. The entire 787B weighed just 1,850 pounds, 400 pounds less than the competition. This gave incredible acceleration and handling advantages. The rotary engine came with challenges, alarming fuel consumption, and exotic lubricants to prevent seal failure. Mazda spent years developing special oil injection systems and heat management technologies. The victory was achieved through superior reliability and clever strategy. While competitors suffered turbocharger failures and electronic problems, the 787B's simple mechanical systems just kept running. The sound of the 787B, a high-pitched wail unlike anything else in motorsport, became legendary. This remains the only victory for a rotary-powered car at Le Mans. Peugeot 905. Peugeot's back-to-back victories marked the beginning of French dominance that would last most of the 1990s. The 905 was powered by a 3.5-liter V10, producing 650 horsepower, chosen for perfect balance of power and efficiency. The real innovation was aerodynamics. Peugeot developed one of the first truly integrated aerodynamic packages, where every surface worked together. The result generated massive downforce while maintaining low drag. The 905 featured advanced materials throughout, with a chassis made from carbon fiber and aluminum honeycomb. The 1993 victory was even more dominant, with Peugeot achieving a 1-2-3 finish, McLaren F1 GTR. The McLaren F1 GTR's victory was unprecedented, a road car-based machine beating purpose-built prototypes. The F1 GTR was essentially a racing version of the world's fastest production car, powered by a 6-liter BMW V12 producing around 600 horsepower. The F1 GTR proved that superior engineering and perfect execution could overcome more powerful competition. The victory established McLaren as a serious manufacturer and proved road car technology could compete at the highest level. Porsche WSC95. Porsche's return to glory with the WSC95 proved the German manufacturer had lost none of their engineering excellence. The WSC95 was powered by a 3.2-liter flat 6, producing 600 horsepower, but the real innovation was efficiency. It could run longer stints than any competitor. The car featured advanced aerodynamics, developed using computational fluid dynamics, cutting-edge technology in the mid-1990s. The 3 consecutive victories proved Porsche's systematic approach to development was still unmatched. BMW V12 LMR. BMW's victory with the V12 LMR was one of the biggest surprises in Le Mans history. The German manufacturer had never won before, and their victory came against strong competition from Mercedes, Toyota, and Porsche. The V12 LMR was powered by a 6.0-liter V12 producing 580 horsepower based on the BMW 850 CSI road car engine. What made it special was perfect balance of speed and reliability. The victory was achieved through superior strategy and flawless execution. BMW's team made no mistakes during 24 hours, while competitors suffered various problems. The Revolution era transformed not just racing, but the entire automotive industry. Turbocharging, pioneered by the Porsche 936, became standard in modern performance cars. Carbon fiber construction, introduced by Matra, revolutionized vehicle design. Ground effects aerodynamics influenced everything from Formula One to road car development. The Japanese arrival with Mazda proved innovation could come from anywhere. Advanced materials, sophisticated engine management, and aerodynamic development all filtered down to production vehicles. By 1999, Le Mans had become truly global. European manufacturers faced serious competition from Japan, while American technology continued to influence development. The Revolution era established Le Mans as the ultimate proving ground for automotive technology. These weren't just race cars, they were laboratories on wheels, testing technologies that would transform the automotive industry. Turbocharging, advanced materials, sophisticated aerodynamics, and electronic systems all trace their development back to lessons learned during the Revolution era. But the story doesn't end here. The new millennium would bring even more dramatic changes. All-wheel drive systems, diesel engines, hybrid powertrains, and the ultimate fusion of racing technology with road car development. The modern era was about to begin. If you enjoyed this journey through the Revolution era, hit that subscribe button for more automotive history. What's your favorite Le Mans winner from this era? Let us know in the comments below. See you in the next video, where we'll explore the modern era and how Le Mans became the ultimate testing ground for tomorrow's automotive technology.